I'm Sue Boo, bringing crafting to you, and today we're going to make this card box, beautiful card box that holds 7x5 cards. Also I think they're about 4" by 4" little cards. Yeah, just over 4 inches. Yeah, and also room in there for tags, plenty of room for tags, and there's your 5x7 cards. So it took me all day yesterday to design it, so I didn't actually go on because of designing it. So here we go. So you'll get confused because it will end up being Blushing Bride that we use, but I've already cut the base. So to show you that, I need to show you on mint macaron, which I'll make another one in mint macaron at a later stage. Okay, so you need a piece of cardstock that is 12 inches by 10.5. Okay, and on the short side, so the 10.5, I'm going to get out my blade so I don't wreck this. We are going to score at 1/2 inch, so you're going to put it in at 1/2 inch and score. So I'm just making sure this, yeah, that's spot on. So that's your 1/2 inch, and then I'm going to rotate it to do 1.5 inches. So I'm going to bring it at 1.5, just make sure it's absolutely on that 1.5. Okay, just make sure that there's, and then score at 1.5. There we go. I am now going to rotate it again 180, sorry, no, I'm going to leave it on that side, and so I'm going to score again at 1/2 inch. So this is still on the 10.5 inch side, and we are scoring this at 1/2 inch. So that's 1/2 inch, and then I'm going to rotate it again to do the 1.5 inches. Now I'll show you so you can see this, so you understand what I've done, just in case I've confused you at all. So I will put that there and make sure that's absolutely, I'm happy with that, and 1.5 inches. So on the 10.5 inch side, you will have a 1/2 inch score, and then that's 1.5 inch score. Then at the other side, I've done a 1/2 inch score and 1.5 inch score. Okay, now we're going to rotate. So this is on the 12 inch side, and we're going to score this at 1 1/16. So put that in at 1. Now your 1 1/16 is your one little tiny mark past the 1. Okay, so there's your 1, and it's one little mark past the 1. So put that in, just let me pull it along. So I've got it in there, just exactly that 1/16 away from your 1. So that's 1 1/16, and then we're going to score that. We're then going to move it along to 6 9/16. So you're 6.5, and then you just want to move it one little mark on to make that 9/16. So I'm just going to put that in 9/16, make sure it's level, and then score that down. And then move it along to, sorry, I did say 6 9/16, and this is 7 9/16. So put it in at your 7.5 and move it that one little mark on. So, oh, that's just popped out somewhere. So let me just check that I've got that in place. So that's 7 and your 7 9s. Okay, now we're going to put it back with our 10.5 inch side, but the bottom bit, the 1 1/16 that we did, that wants to be at the bottom of your trimmer, and you are going to put it back in. And well, actually, sorry, we'll spin it around again. This is the 12 inch side, sorry, the 12 inch side. And what I'm going to do is, see these score lines here? We are going to cut down the score lines. Now, if you want to, you can do this with scissors. I'm doing this on my trimmer. So I'm going to put it back in and get it exactly on where that center score line is. So this time I'm using my trimmer to look where that score line is. So I'm not using a measurement, it is just under 4.5 inches. Excuse me. Right, but I'm using my score line to be exactly in the center there, and I'm going to cut down to the second score line. So on the side of your blade you have that little mark. I'm going to pull that down until it comes to this line here only. So that mark will be exactly on there. So let me just do that. So I'm pulling it down. I have to stand on top of it, and it's there. So if I can show you without moving it. So my side of my blade now is level with that score line. You're going to lift up so you can see there. Make sure that you do not move your trimmer, your card in your trimmer, and you're going to take your blade lifting up to the very bottom. Okay, and now you're going to come up so that you are looking for the second score line again. So I'm just going to bring my blade up to hit that second score line only. So I'm making sure that that has remained in my trimmer exactly. So make sure that you didn't move it, and then it's going to go up to that second score line. So I've got it there. I'll just show you again. So it's that second score line, and I use the side of my blade, that mark there, to line up with that. We're going to lift up, and then you're going to move it along and get that second score line, that second one there, that score line there. We're going to cut down that score line. As I say, you can do this with scissors. Now this is nearly 5.5. So again, I'm going to pull that down to that second score line only, using the side of my blade. Okay, I'm going to then lift up and take it to the very bottom, making sure that I've still got that exactly in the right position, and then I'm going to pull up to my second score line only, and then lift up my blade. So now what we've got is that flap there and that flap there. Okay, now we're going to turn it back onto the 10.5 inch, and we're going to put it in to 9 inches. It's 9 inches, so we're putting it back in at 9 inches, maybe just slightly, yeah, exactly 9 inches. Do it exactly at 9 inches. We're going to make sure that we put our blade at the top before we put it down, and now we're just going to take our blade down only as far as the cut line. So you're using again the side of your blade to come down to that cut line. So I'm going to pull it down making sure that I've got it on my 9, coming down and only as far as that cut line. And that piece should be cut now, yeah, so that takes that piece off. So you've got 2 score line pieces. Now you can use that for something else, so don't throw that away. Okay, I am now going to twist my card so that I've turned it the full 180 degrees, so you can see the cut is on this side, and I'm going to again put it back in so my top is registering that 9 inches. So I'm putting it back in at 9 inches. I'm going to make sure that I've got my blade up and taking it all the way down to the bottom. And then I'm going to cut up this time to that score line, cut line should I say, so that I'll show you. So I've come up as far as that cut line only, and then I'm going to lift up my trimmer blade, move that out of the way, and it didn't cut quite, so I'm just going to make sure where I need to cut. So just making sure that that's exactly on my 9 again, and just nick that little bit. Is that coming? And that came away then now. Okay, lift up your trimmer blade and bring it. So now that is what we have got. So we've got a T-shaped piece really that's like that, and the bottom is totally intact, and we can cut that with scissors later. Okay, so I am now, because I'd cut this and we're working on my blushing bride, I am bringing my blushing bride in now, because we've done it exactly the same as the mint macaron, but now we're going to blushing bride. Now with my scissors I am going to cut up the score line at the bottom, just like that, and then up the next score line till we're only going to this first score line, and I'm going to turn it sideways, and I'm going to completely cut off only the first to the first score line. So we've only cut that little bit off there. I'm going to repeat at the other side, so I'm cutting up that score line to the next score line. I am then going to cut up again the next score line to that score line there. Then I'm going to turn it and just cut off this little bit here. Okay, so what yes, thank you. Did you, Valerie? So it took me all day designing this, so I don't know whether you caught the first part where you saw what it is, but it'll be a surprise if you didn't. Okay, so this is how we've got it so far. So I've got these 2 here and the top, and these 2 here. So we're going to fold these 2 flaps in and burnish those down. So those 2 flaps burnished down. Now I'm going to take just a fraction, and not very much, off these 2 flaps. So I'm just wedging that in just slightly, but not taking too much off there. And the same at the other side. So I'm just going to wedge that in slightly and do the same at the other side. Okay. Oh, right. Oh, that's different. I'm also going to just wedge in slightly these 2 here. I'm sorry, I've been quite poorly with cold. I'm hoping I'm not going to be coughing all the way through this. So where did I get to? Oh dear. So again, I'm going to wedge this side. Oh dear. It looks as though I might not be able to do this if I'm going to keep coughing. Right, okay, so that's what we've got so far. I have got a drink. Okay, so we're going to fold and burnish now. Okay, that side. There we go. And the bottom. Bring those up, burnish those, and burnish those. Then the side, going to bring in and burnish those, and then this one, burnish those, coming round the other side, burnish those, and then burnish that. Okay. So now we're going to start to put our DSP in place. So the top inside, we have got, let me get my piece. The back one, in fact, I'm going to make sure I don't make any mistakes. It's 7 3/8 by 4 5/16. So just excuse the echo. Okay, so we will stick this down and see how we go. So this, as I say, is Blushing Bride that I'm using, and this is the speciality paper, and it's Sahara Sand, the colour. And it's beautiful foil paper. Okay, so we're going to just put that with equal increments all the way round. Okay, now these side bits, I wanted to give a really sturdy bit at the top. So what I'm doing is I'm going to put some of my red tape on the top. Where's my other scissors? So I'm just putting this near the edge of them, there. I'll just burnish that down, doing it with my fingers. Then I'm going to peel these two off, and I'm going to stick a little bit of glue on there at the base as well, and then just put these down. Okay, right, now I've got another piece that is going to go over the top, and this piece is 7 7/16 by 15/16, just so it will hide that and make it neater. Okay, and then just pop that on the top of there, and that's just going to give it that extra bit of support. Just make sure that your folds, it's not in the way of your folds. And then we've got a strip to go on the top, and that is 7/8 by just let me by, that's not right, no, they're the side pieces. Just let me check where I've put this. It's 7 3/8 by 7/8, and that is going to go on the top of that. Now this might even be on offer now, because it's last chance now, all the retiring products, and this is certainly retiring, and it's such beautiful paper. So just make sure you've got equal increments all the way round on that. There we go. And then we've got a piece for the bottom here, and this will be 7 3/8 by 5 3/8. So it was 7 3/8 by 5 3/8. So that's going to go at the bottom. So we're going to stick these on first before we stick our internal things, and then this is all covered and finishes our project off lovely. It's probably the glue that set me off as well, because it's quite fumey, my glue. Okay, so make sure we've got equal increments there all the way around. Okay, make sure that that's level with that. Okay, there. Right, now what we're going to do is I'm going to turn it over, and we're going to stick the pieces some just here. So that's going right up against our fold. And again, this one, it's going right up against our fold. Okay, there we go. Now we'll stick our pieces of DSP on the back as well. So these measure exactly the same again. So the 5 and the 7 3/8 by the 5 3/8. So exactly the same. this is going to go on the bottom part. So make sure you've got equal increments all the way around. There we go. And then we've got 2 pieces for the sides, and they are 7/8 by 5 3/8. So I'll put those on next. So they're going to go on here. Okay. And then one for the other side, exactly the same. Now this speciality paper, it's from the Love You Always bundle, and it has the Sahara Sand, Rococo Rose, and Blushing Bride, but I quite liked the contrast. I looked at the Blushing Bride. Now I was tempted, but I actually like the contrast of the Sahara Sand with it. This one is all leafy. I will show you the other ones later. They're so pretty. I made the other day the same speciality paper. I made that little favour box. I can't remember what I put in it now, but some chocolate, I think. And because it's not directional, I'm not fussy about what way I am putting it on, just making sure I've got some equal increments going off. So there's the top one, and then there should be one more. Where's my one piece? Sure, I've done one. There it is, siding. And then we've got this one for the top that measured the same as the inside one. 7/8 by the 7 3/8. So 7/8 by the 7 3/8. There we go. So that's going to go in there, making sure it's got that nice equal increment. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to bring this bottom piece in. So I'm just going to take off the actual release tape and just really bring it round like you were making a box, and just make sure that you have got that nice crisp edge. And you're going to do exactly the same at the other side. Now I realise that I have missed one sheet of paper out, so there we go. Make sure it's nice and crisp. There we go. Now there should be a little 1/16 of an inch over. That is because when you put the other pieces in, they push further forward. Okay, so I'm going to bend these back out of the way for the moment, and then we're going to bring in the next piece. So the large pocket is measuring 9.5 by 4 inches, and that has been scored at 1/2 inch and 1 inch, rotate it and score at 1/2 inch, rotate it again and score at 1/2 inch and 1 inch, and we're just going to burnish this on all of its scored lines. And then we're just going to cut out these 2 squares here. So we're going to cut along the score line and cut up the other score line like that. And then repeat, taking out these 2 score lines here. We're going to cut up that score line and cut up this score line, so that you get shape like that. Okay, we'll turn it over on the other side, and we're going to put our tape all along the folded along our burnish crease line there at the edge. Turn it on its side and do exactly the same, going up our score line and the bottom one up against the score line. And turn it round and do exactly the same, so up against our score line and then up against the score line. Okay, so face it towards you, and then you're going to put on your DSP panel, which for the large pocket, it measures the 7 3/8 by 3 3/8. So we're going to pop that on now. So you could, if you wanted to, coordinate your DSP differently. So I've done the inside and out with the same DSP, but you could put a contrasting colour on the inside if you wanted to. I just wanted to make it extra special and do it with all this beautiful paper. Make sure you've got the equal increments again. So I'm going to hold it like that so I can see better. So I'm not going to pull it down a little bit, so I'll get some adhesive going back on it again. Pull it down a little bit more. It's hard to see when I'm not on top of it. I think that'll do. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to release the bottom part only. So we're releasing the bottom part only, and then I'm going to put glue on the rest of it. And now what I'm going to do is pop this right against the edge like this. So I've got it right against the edge like that, and then I'm going to push it towards the bottom and bring the bottom up at the same time. So pushing it there, I'm going to open it up, and then we can do that now. I think that's not gone quite as far as it should do. Hoping that's going to be all right when my top one fits in. So, but make sure you get that as far as you can towards your crease line. I don't know whether I'll risk it because I don't want to spoil it. but try and get it as far as you can in, tuck it in as far as you possibly can. And then what you're going to do is you're going to release this paper, only the side one, and I'm going to put a bit of glue down that edge, and then keep it folded in like that. Get it right down, and you're just going to bring it up so that you've got it butt against, hang on, let me try and show you, butt against that side. I don't know whether that's showing you whether I've got inside. And then I should have started this one and I forgot to. This is where it does become a little bit difficult, because you need to get your release tape started, and I should have started it, so better start it when I do the next side. That's it, because once you've got the release paper started, you're all right, because you can then pull it all the way down to the bottom, and then all you've got to do is just push that down inside and just go back in with your bone folder, and that's going to adhere it to the back there. So this time I'm going to start the second one in, so I've got that release paper started. Then I'm going to, so that it'd be easier to pull off, but leaving it in position. Then I'm going to peel off the second one in, and then just go down the edge with a bit of glue. Okay, keep it bent in like that. I'm going to take it down, and then I'll just bring the fold down, and I'm looking to push it in at the same time as bringing that down, and that gives you a nice finish at either side, and it's pulling those sides in as well. I'm then going to go back in and grab hold of that release tape, and hopefully it will come off easier. I'm just going to get my poker tool in there, sorry. Yes, it does. The sale does start. There's the Dear Happy card kit that was £30, £15, and it's a beautiful set, that, all inclusive. You get everything with it. It's really good. Right, that now we're going to put that on the back. So all you've got to do now is press down on that using my bone folder, and that's that part done. Okay, so all done in there. Right, just pop that out of the way, and we're going to bring back in the medium pocket now. The medium pocket measures, where's my medium pocket? 6 7/16 by 3.5. And again, it's just scored exactly the same: 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, and 1 inch. So we're going to just burnish those just exactly the same. So the pockets are all made up exactly the same in how you cut them, should I say, but we are going to do something slightly different when we come to fixing it. So again, just exactly the same, cut up the score line and remove these 2 squares, and again cutting up the 2 squares and removing that bottom one. There we go. So we've got that one. I'm going to adhere the DSP, and the DSP for the medium pocket is 4 3/8, and I didn't write that other bit down, so why didn't I do that? Let me just check on this. So it's 4 3/8 by 2 7/8. Let me just write that down myself. By 2 7/8. There we go. So let's just pop that on there. There we go. Oops. And then just put equal increments all the way round. Okay, that's about right. And just leave that on one side. Then the small pocket, we just need to do exactly the same. The small pocket measures 5 inches by 3.5, and again it was just scored at 1/2 inch and 1 inch. So 1/2 inch and 1 inch, then 1/2 inch on your bottom one, and then 1/2 inch and 1 inch. And we're just going to do exactly the same, where we're just going to cut those 2 squares out again. So I'm just going to bring those there and cut that there, and the same at the other side. Cut that there and then do that there. Okay, so the DSP for the small pocket is 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. So this happens to be a square. Just get that and then put that there in the middle. Okay, now just match it up to have a look. Just make sure your DSP is lining up, and it is. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to put the tear and tape, the strong adhesive tape up against the score line like we normally do on the large on the medium pocket, and also on the back bit. So put it up against the fold there, and I'm going to put it up against the fold here. Right, so that's there, and then again at the bottom just exactly the same. So put up against the fold line and cut that, and then the same that way. I like to put it up against the score line and then up against the score line. Okay, now on this piece we are only going to put it on the bottom one. Okay, so it's only going on the bottom one. I'll just check that I've got this right, because this is going to stick to this. So we only need that bit on there. We don't need it on that bit. But then we're going to put it exactly the same. Again, the score lines. Turn it round. And this time it's exactly the same. Up against the score lines. And then up against the score line. Okay. That's it. So just burnish these down. Now, don't peel off that bottom one. Take off the one that's closest to your DSP. Fold over your card and make sure it butts up against your score line. So we want it exactly butting up against the score line and then press down. Okay, so that's put those two together. And that, just bend them both ways so you get it like that. Now, just bear with me 1 minute. Okay. And what we're going to do is exactly the same. We're going to bend up these bottom two and we're going to release the tape on both the bottom two. So release those on the bottom two, and then we're going to put glue on that little bit that overhangs there, little bit that overhangs there. And so we're going to again put these right up. Now just bend this to one side, so you're going to put this right, and you can bend those in as well. So let's bend those out of the way. So this needs to be, so we're butting this edge up against the back one. So we're going to come in like this and press it so that it's all along the bottom. So if you let me show you again. So let's keep those out of the way. We're going to, let's see if I can show you. We're going to butt that up against the bottom completely, and then just slowly bring it up, and as you're bringing it up, go down with the edge so that it's adhering to this bottom edge like that. Okay, there we go, that's looking good. Now we're going to take off these middle bits. So you should cut your release tape off. Oh, come off and went back on. Go on, off you come. And then we'll just go down with the glue on either side where there is no tape, and on that one as well. Okay, now make sure that this sits square. Okay, so you're going to sit it square, lift up your box, make sure you're keeping it square, push down, and then bring in, when you're happy you've got it square, bring in your back piece and commit. And then you can just rub down with your bone folder gently to make it adhere. Now we're going to bring this in at the side. I'm also keeping it back away from the edge, and I'm also going to start to release that other tape, because this is where it gets tricky. You don't start to release this tape, so I've released it, so it's there. I'm going to slip a little bit, this is difficult to show you, a little bit of glue like I have been doing on those side edges, and then I'm going to pop that level with the sides like that, and then oops, it's come undone. So do it level with the sides, and I'm going to use my bone folder to key that in, and then hopefully I can now get that release tape. So just push it back, go in again and just push it back with that. Then I'm going to get that release tape that I'd started. Hopefully it will release easy. Getting my finger in there and then just pulling that release tape away, and then I'll just, pop it on the side and just go in and out so that it adheres to there. Then we're going to do exactly the same at the other side. So I'm bringing it away from the edges. So I'm bringing it away from that edge. I'm going to get that release tape off, and I'm going to start. Oh, I took the wrong one off, didn't I? Oh, right, I took the wrong one off, so I'm going to have to risk it this time. It's the one closest to your DSP you need to take off first. I'm going to go in with a little bit of glue. If I can stop sticking to all my release tapes. I'm going to go in with a little bit of glue going down there. I'm going to keep it back as far as I can. Going to come up to that edge, bring that edge in, and stick that to that edge like that. And the back one's already, because I took the back one off, it's already in position, so I'm going up the sides and down the back. Okay, now I've got little strips to hide your bottom 4, so these I have done at 1/2 inch by just under 3 inches. So all you do is just pop them in to go over the actual pink bits, can you see? And they just stick in there and just disguise that there's something there. So the petitions, so again, anywhere you've got that, you just pop it in and just go down with your bone folder, just again. Put plenty of glue on them, slide them down. Just make sure they come right to the top. I've put them just under, so they could slip down, so just make sure that they're not slipping down. And then the last one, getting that down there. Okay, so that just disguises all of those. Now you could do that on there, you've just got to do it slightly different to the length. That didn't bother me. I might do that later, I've not decided. Right, now you're just going to put a little bit of tearing tape on or your strong adhesive. You're going to put it on the bottom, but only as far as where the top of this comes. So I'm going to cut that bit off and just burnish that down, and then release it, and then put some glue on the other bit, and then bend this while holding this in, and then just smooth that over there. So I've got my hands in holding that in position, and we'll do the same at the other side. So we're going to pop that there. Okay, back to the bottom, and then just glue on that bit. And then just release this tone tape. Let's get my, oops. There we go. And then just put your fingers in again and just bring that over so that you're pressing down on your fingers. Okay. And just pinch that top bit there. Right, now this is where I forgot this last bit, so I'll just need to get my trimmer and my paper. Okay, so it's called Love You Always, that's the name of the paper. So just gonna get a little bit, pop that out of the way, and those are only 1/2 inch, so I'm just going to do, I think I'll do 3/8, so I want 3/8 of an inch. Okay, make sure, yeah, 3/8 of an inch. Put that down, take that up, and I'll do another because that won't be enough. So 3/8 of an inch. Make sure I've got my 3/8 of an inch. I think that moved. Yeah, it did. 3/8 of an inch. That's 3/8 of an inch. There we go. So do that. So they were 3/8, and then I just need to see 5 and 3/8 in length. So just want them to be 5 and 3/8 in length. Save time. I'm going to be hopefully doing all right. Put these two together. Set and 5 and 3/8. And just put the two at once. Okay, and then we're going to stick these on here. So just leave an equal increment going on the top there. Okay, and then on the side here. This designer series paper only has one side to it as well. It's lovely paper to work with. Okay, so that's going to go there. Okay, move that out of the way, and then our box just folds over like that. Just, oh, I'm not allowing that to dry, so it was moving then. So then all I did was tie the ribbon round. So this again is just my Blushing Bride ribbon. So I just tied a piece around there, so that you can remove it, but then it's like that. And so I'm not going to take that off again. I'll show you back in this one. So your 5x7 cards fit at the back. Over 4x4 cards will fit in that, and then you've got plenty of room for your tags there. Okay, so thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed that. Hope you'll have a go at one. As I say, this is my design totally, so I hope you like it, and thank you for watching me. If you see what I like, this designer series paper is now, I think, on special offer, and when it's gone, it's gone. So if you don't hurry up, you might miss it. There is 3 lovely colours. That was the Sahara Sand. There is the beautiful Rococo Rose, and this has got lovely flowers on. I made something with that the other day. And then it's got the Blushing Bride as well. I don't know whether there's 3 or 4. No, I'm bringing the wrong one out again. So, and this is the Blushing Bride one. There is 4 of each of the 3 designs, and as I believe, as I say, it's on special offer, but when it's gone, it's gone. That will be it. So if you like it, you need to purchase it very quickly, and I bet it sells out very, very soon. Right, thank you very much for watching. If you want to join my team, I'd love you to join my team. Get in touch with me. If you see any of the things and want to shop with me, I'd love to be your demonstrator. On my YouTube video, there will be a link back to my shop in the description, link back to my business page, and you'll be able to find my shop on there. Thank you very much for watching me. Do appreciate it. Sorry about the coughing at the beginning. I have been quite poorly this weekend. So thank you very much. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.